2011 is almost in the books, and with it another year of unforgettable moments on Vancouver Island. Some made us smile, others cry, some made us shake our heads. And before we put another year behind us and look ahead, we've decided to look back. CTV's Joe Perkins takes us through a collection of some of the more memorable stories from the last year.
Tomorrow night, the owner of this Victoria coffee shop has a plan.
Well, we're going to a New Year's Eve party.
That's part of the plan, but not the part he's excited about.
And I'm going to bring a trivia quiz with me. And I was thinking myself, what are the outstanding things of 2011?
It's an idea that sparked a conversation about the past year and its top stories.
Probably all the closures on the Malahat during the year.
The demise of the HST was a really big lesson.
I guess getting the Royals, maybe.
Right. After 17 years, 2011 saw the return of WHL hockey in Victoria. It was a big announcement, but perhaps not the biggest.
And the no side, 45.27, and the rejected about 0.17.
The news shook the province. The Harmonized Sales Tax defeated. Some called it a win for democracy.
They can't simply do things because it's the will of a premier or the party.
But what about the will of a movement?
Top story of the year would be Occupy.
A story that reached around the world and stretched from Nanaimo to Victoria. And lying between the two camps, the Malahat.
Always a story. There's always Malahat crashes making the news, but I think this year was unique in the severity of the one crash that happened earlier in the year back in the spring.
It's when a tanker tipped and thousands of liters of fuel poured into Goldstream River, a highway catastrophe, and not the last.
And it's the debate over whether it's the drivers or whether it's the road. It's probably both. And then you can get into the whole transportation issue.
An issue that seemed to dominate civic discussion in 2011, spearheading the debate, the Johnson Street Bridge.
It is a piece of infrastructure that we do need to fix.
Not everyone agreed. It caused debate and some unrest, but not as much as a neighboring city destructing over a hockey game.
Certainly that had an impact, perhaps from a distance, but certainly there were people from our city that were a part of that.
Whether or not you were there, most watched in shock. The same shock many felt when pictures of Kimberly Proctor and Taisha Jones flashed across island televisions this year. Both young girls murdered and only Proctor's killers brought to justice.
It was shocking. The whole country was paying attention to just how bad this got. And that happened in 2011.
But it wasn't all bad in 2011, not if you ask a shipbuilder.
For folks who are feeling concerned about a middle class that's struggling, that shipbuilding contract's going to make a difference.
An $8 billion difference. It means more jobs, more ships, and more work, possibly fixing ferries that experience hard landings.
I've got...
Back at the coffee shop, Trevor agrees 2011 was full of stories, more than enough to fill a trivia game for a party. And while there were plenty to choose from, Trevor has his story of the year.
For me personally, my daughter Joanna got married in Mexico.
It's his clear favorite, which he says made 2011 a good year. Joe Perkins, CTV News, Victoria.